Hello, my friends. I hope everybody is doing well today. Thank you for being here for our Sunday Court Watchers Anonymous meeting. Oh, hold on. There's me on my own phone. I was like, who the fuck's talking? It's you. Um, it's not a dress. This is a shirt. I love it too. I really like the neckline. It's like, oh, I love this shirt. I love polka dots as well. Um, You guys are so sweet to me. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you coming in the later evenings. Hi, Mimi. I saw you came into the Discord. That's awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As a announcement, we will be having a members only after our oh my God. I just caught sight of something behind me that I'm very excited to show you guys. Maybe some of you have seen it already. But a new thing that I got today. Um, where's a Minnie Mouse headband? Oh, you are really testing me right now in the middle of a move. I'm trying to recall. I have a few ideas, but I can't think about it right now. Um, tell me what you guys had for dinner while I think. Oh, okay. I want to share two things with you. So, right before, because I'm gonna forget. You look passable. Passable as what, a 35-year-old lady? Hi, Mikey. Um, Thank you, I guess. I don't. I've already, first of all, I've been brought back down to earth today by hanging out with my 15-year-old daughter, who was quite happy to laugh at some of my things that I was saying, but also helped me pick out something that we are going to be doing in members only today that I want to give you a little sneak peek of and it's in an ironic way that we're doing this. You won't even, I honestly, I almost fell over laughing in the dollar store and she was like, "Why are you buying that?" I'm like, "It's for my members only later." She's like, "That's so lame." I'm like, "I know. That's why I'm buying it." Um, so actually, I'm not going to reveal what it is. Stay tuned for that. Make sure you have gifting turned on if you don't already, because this is not the members only. This is just our regular thing. She is so beautiful. I wish I could share like new normal like now pictures of her because she is so beautiful, but of course I can't do that. But she is like so much better at makeup than me too, and I asked her if she would help me learn, and she said, "I don't think I could teach you." So that brought me back down to earth too, Mikey. So in fact, I'm here for a little bit of a pick me up as opposed to a bring me down. But Sashina, my friend, first of all, you guys, Sashina has a channel and she's an author. So please check out her stuff. Go look at her book. She sells it on Amazon. She's a fucking book. It's finished. It's a book. Okay. Some of us are authors. We'd like to be writers, but she's published a book. Okay. Multiples. And they're short stories that all work into a larger book, so you can actually read them in independence. Am I wrong on that, Sashina? I think that's what I understood. Philip, thank you so much for lurking. Remember, if you are here in the chat, go ahead and use exclamation mark lurk, and it'll let everybody know that you're going to be lurking. Sashina, what I wanted to ask you was, did I posted in the Discord and I tagged you with the really crunchy mom video that I was talking about yesterday. It's only 2 minutes long, so worth a watch for sure. And like I said, a really nice message. I really enjoyed it. I watched it again. I was like, yeah, tell me, girl. Tell me about that again. Um, I love it. And oh, just in case you're listening, my lurkers, if you are wanting to not lurk anymore, you just do exclamation mark back and you come on back. Um, Mikey wants to write a book on his childhood. I have written a children's book based on my childhood, but it is not published because I have ADHD and I'm not able to get that far. Marie L. Fuck Paisley. Get it right. You've clocked in for your shift. Thank you so much. Um, so Philip, the exclamation mark uh, denotes a command to the Streamlabs um, bot or program, for another lack of another word. And so when we've added commands, we use that to differentiate between if you wanted to just write like, oh, there's a weird guy lurking outside of my house. We don't want every word that you type in the chat to be a command, but there are lots of commands that we have that um, are fun. There's snowballs, cookies, roses, um, lots and lots of weird languages. Thank you, Jonathan. Yes, I'm noticing you doing that. And actually, this is a great lead into our New Year's party because we are having a New Year's party. It's going to be on New Year's Eve. And it's the first New Year's party that I'm really excited to go to be honest with you, and the first one I've ever hosted. I've never felt confident enough to host a party like in real life. But on the internet, I actually think I'm now qualified to like host a large group of people on the internet and entertain them for a little while. Like, yeah, I can do that. And I'm very excited. Um, Jonathan. Ah, polyglot bot. Did you actually make a fucking bot to do that, by the way? KT is here as well. MB is here. You guys, I'm so glad to see all of my old friends and all of these new faces that are joining us and growing with us every day. There was a little part of me that hoped that this would be a 700 Sunday because we are 4 subs away from 700, but alas, we're still 4 subs away from 700, so it won't yet be a 700 Sunday. Courtney, I understand you want to sleep, but we are going to be doing some very, very much, very fun things this New Year's. What? So, firstly, I will share a tradition that I didn't realize was just Scottish, but is something that my family has done my whole life on New Year's, and apparently people think it's weird. So what it's called is the first footer, or like the first person to cross the threshold after midnight. In Scotland, at least according to my family, it was like really important who that person would be. And ahead of midnight, they would decide. And the best thing would be to have a dark haired man to be your first footer. And sometimes they would recruit the same man to go from house to house to house, being the first foot after at different times. You didn't want, like, for example, a blonde whatever girl to be crossing the threshold before this guy. Like, it's important that he does it first because it's good luck. And so, but what that results in is one guy who has to stay outside at midnight by himself, just sort of like hanging out. And I just, but they sort of make it like a big deal, like, oh, so, New Year's is celebrated for. Okay, here's a disclaimer. First disclaimer. We know that I'm Canadian. I've lived in Canada most of my life, but I am Scottish. I was born in Scotland, but my entire knowledge about Scotland comes from like 3 people. I'm realizing now it's very niche. Like, these may be just like family things in reality, but I've taken them to be like Scottish traditions. So my nana told me that they used to party for New Year's for like 4 days. Now I have a hard time believing that the entire country of Scotland uses a standard 4-day New Year's, but I don't know. Maybe somebody here in the chat could confirm or deny. Um, Anyways, so does Canada celebrate New Year's? Yeah, absolutely. Canada celebrates New Year's, but very similarly to the United States. We have parties that you have to pay, like you buy tickets for ahead of time. Balloons drop from the ceiling. Like, I've said this before. My family, like, they were big into Al-Anon and AA, so I went to a lot of like AA New Year like events for Christmas and New Year's. So not a lot of alcohol, but I know that, yeah, no fire. There are fireworks, like people do like let off firecrackers and stuff, children mostly, but not as a family. Like that would be a pretty unusual thing to do as a family. It's more like teenagers get in trouble with fireworks as opposed to like adults condone it. Um, but like so you always want to kiss someone on after midnight, but also that's true here. Has anybody heard about the grapes? Eating grapes at midnight being very important for luck. I only learned about this just, and I'm like planning on buying grapes because they're like $8 a pound. So I mean, I can understand maybe it's just like by de facto, if you can afford $8 per pound grapes in January, then you're probably going to be doing okay into the next year. I don't know. But I'm going to make the sacrifice this year. I'm buying the grapes. I'm going to eat grapes because I'm not going to be kissing anybody. But maybe that's what we should all do, you guys. We can all get grapes. That would be pretty easy. Ooh, look at me thinking of things. Um, there's city and Pew Pew Fire. But you've never heard of the grapes thing? This is like at midnight. Like, you know how at midnight, like, oh, if you're there with somebody you love, you like, oh my God, it's midnight. And then you look and then you kiss and you're like, oh my God, our life is so great. Yay. But like, you guys, I'm just going to be real with you. A lot of us are going to be in the position that I'm in right now at this New Year's coming, which is alone, facing our computer. And I want it to not feel weird when all of us frantically pop grapes in our mouths midnight. Okay. Um, can somebody just text Discord me grapes just so that I remember that? Um, okay, we are gonna get watching court because we have to get going. You get grapes in a beak. Sorry, I get grapes every week in a bottle. Thank you, Philip. Not a cop. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm gonna be quiet and let this happen. Um, KT, that doesn't get us to 700 because subscribers aren't the same as mem like but that's a great reminder. Once again, turn on your gifting so that you can get it. Also, look at the sign I got on air. So much. And it's actually strategically positioned where people in the house that can't see the computer and that I'm actually live are able to see that and see, wow, she's actually on air. I feel really cool. Also, that costs like, I think $3 or $4. $3 or $4. Yeah, and that one, yeah, I know. I know. John. Anyways, regardless. Oh, I was muted. I did that on purpose. Anyways, guys, we are going to be watching court today, and the court that we're going to be watching, oh, also ties into the story that I wanted to tell you just before we started. So, maybe this is from the past, but this is the best uh not a net metaphor, analogy that I could think of. When, let's say you're looking in the dictionary for something. This might be a hard exercise for people to imagine if they are younger than me. But let's say you're looking in the dictionary for a word and you pick up the dictionary. It's a big book and you put your finger in, you open that book and your finger points to the word you were looking for. I mean, you feel like a magician, right? You're just like, "Duh! Ah, I want it. That's the what, you know that feeling? Just tonight, when I was getting court ready for us to watch, and y'all know I don't do a lot of preparation, I thought, okay, we're gonna watch Judge do or the Big D, Judge Dismissal Dan, and oh, Serendipitous. That might be true, actually. But so I said, oh, Paisley, it's quite long. It's, 2 hours of a video. And I said, well, you know what? We'll skip the instructions. We've done a lot of instructions of his. We'll skip his instructions. And I clicked it and I shit you not. I mean, just at the perfect moment as he's saying, okay, we'll start with the ladies and then we'll move on to the guys. And I was just like, I'm alone. Nobody's here. Nobody witnessed it. They're just going to have to believe that that happened. And it did. And it made me feel great. So I want you guys to know that. So if you're just getting here, welcome. Make sure you've clocked in for your shift by hitting the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We're on a march to 700. Make me happy. Make it a 700 Sunday. We're going to watch some court. They're going to bring the ladies in now. Also, if you'd like, tell me what you have for dinner. If you didn't like, or if you, wait, tell me what you have for dinner. If you didn't like what you have for dinner, tell me what you wish you had. Why wouldn't I not know that? I say that all the time. Let's go. We do watch court sometimes, Colin. Yes, that's correct.
I'll bring it, interpret the guys up first.
Spanish speaking individual. Who needs to interpret? Spanish. Come on, let's go up front.
Hold on. You can't hear that. I'm gonna go back. Did you see my face there? Hold on. I fucked up the audio. I'm gonna fix it right now. And I know it seems stupid, but we're going back to listen to that again because you'll see why. Here we go.
And then once we're done with the interpreter cases, we'll go to the females, okay?
I'll bring it, interpret the guys up first.
Spanish speaking individual. Who needs to interpret? Spanish. Come on, let's go up front.
One, two.
All right, who do we have in front of us?
¿Quién tenemos enfrente?
Gabriel Galán Picasso.
Gabriel Galán Castro.
Picasso.
Picasso.
Okay.
Daniel Hernández.
Por favor, ¿podría usted repetir su nombre?
Daniel Hernández.
Daniel Hernández.
Okay.
Gracias.
Miss Bermudez, what was the name of the first individual?
Gabriel Galán Picasso.
Oh, Picasso. Oh, okay, got it. Okay, give me just.
We should all say Picasso now, going forward. Picasso. Also, the judge reminds you of CM Punk. He just is who he is to me. I don't know. Picasso. Colin, you've been using dismissal down. That's okay. Today, though, this is fresh, you guys. This is only 7 hours old, this court. So, Colin, if you covered it, or if anybody else covered it, I'm impressed that they did that today because it was just from today. So not for the interpreter cases because they're too difficult for me to understand where they are going to be. We'll watch those interpreter cases, then we'll get down to the regularly scheduled programming, which is going to include us trying to pick which charges the people are going to face and hope and wish and pray and dance for some dismissals. And then following that, we are going to see what I bought at the dollar store today that my daughters thought was embarrassing and silly that I think you all will love.
Moment, let me grab their paperwork very quickly.
Come on. Morgan. Hernandez.
I have Mr. Hernandez. Let me grab the other one.
Josh, do you say Hernandez?
Yes, I have Mr. Daniel Hernandez's file,
Okay.
and then I'm grabbing Mr. Picasso's file.
Rangers. Simmons. No Stanley. You have.
Okay. We'll start with Mr. Picasso first.
Vamos a comenzar con el señor Picasso.
I'm just gonna guess for this one. I do believe he cut an ear off. I think he cut somebody's ear off, maybe his own, although I don't think you can get charged for that.
All right, sir, can you state your full name one more time, please?
Señor, ¿podría usted decir su nombre?
Was it Picasso that cut his ear off? I'm pretty sure.
Más.
Gabriel Galán Picasso.
Gabriel Galán Picasso.
Okay. All right, Mr. Picasso, you were charged with 1 count misdemeanor of driving without a valid license.
Okay, señor.
It was an older guy. Oh, that's right. What I remember about it's Van Gogh. You're right, Sashina. That's right. Okay, Picasso was alive until like the 50s, 1950s. Nobody thinks that. He was like recent. Thank you, not a cop. Yes, Van Gogh. I was definitely wrong. My joke doesn't work. But if there's a Van Gogh on this docket, I will use the same joke. Please be aware of that. If there is a Van Gogh, I will use the same joke.
A usted se le acusa de un cargo por delito menor de manejar sin licencia de conducir.
I am going to set a bond of $1,000.
Yo le voy a fijar una fianza de $1,000.
Are you going to be able to pay your bond?
¿Va usted a poder pagar su fianza?
Yo ya lo pagué desde ayer.
I already paid it from yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Got it. So they're probably working on your paperwork, but you just came to me before they were able to get that completed.
Ellos probablemente están trabajando en la documentación, pero probablemente la razón por la que lo trajeron ante mí es porque no lo habían completado.
All right. In that case, do you have the right to court-appointed attorney, or you can hire your own? What would you like to do?
En este caso, usted tiene el derecho de tener un abogado de oficio o de contratarse su propio abogado. ¿Qué quiere usted hacer?
Pues, ¿qué recomiendan ustedes? Yo,
Well, what do you recommend?
Well, I can't give you legal advice, but with this charge, you could face up to 12 months in jail or $1,000 fine. So you probably would want to have a lawyer one way or another.
Yo no le puedo dar consejo legal, pero en este caso o con este cargo, usted está encarando una multa de hasta $1,000 y de hasta 12 meses en la cárcel. O sea que probablemente a usted debería de tener un abogado de una forma u otra.
¿cuál es el que me dijo? ¿Cuál y cuál?
What did you say? What is that?
You can either hire your own attorney, or I can ask you a few questions, and if you qualify, we will get an attorney for you.
Usted puede contratarse su propio abogado o Yo le puedo hacer algunas preguntas y si usted califica, le podríamos designar uno.
Ok. Hágame las preguntas.
Okay, ask me the questions.
Okay. Are you currently employed?
Actualmente, ¿está usted trabajando?
Sí.
Yes.
How much money do you make per month?
¿Cuánto gana usted por mes?
Como $5,000.
$5,000.
Are you currently married?
Actualmente, ¿está usted casado?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you have any children?
¿Tiene usted niños?
3.
3.
How many of them are younger than 18?
¿Cuántos de ellos son menores de 18 años?
2.
2.
Do you have a mortgage payment?
¿Tiene usted que pagar hipoteca?
No.
No.
Pago renta.
¿Perdón?
Pago renta.
I pay a rent.
Okay, how much is that?
¿Cuánto paga?
$400 al mes.
$400 a month.
Good.
Hold on, $400 a month? That's cheap ass rent, isn't it? My God, I wish cheap rent.
Okay, I'm going to. Are you a citizen of the United States?
¿Es usted ciudadano estadounidense?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and appoint him a lawyer.
Yo voy a
So-
proceder y le voy a designar un abogado.
So they'll be in contact with you when you go to court next.
O sea que el abogado se va a poner en contacto con usted cuando usted vaya a la corte la próxima vez.
¿Cuándo va a ser la... pero ahorita me van a poner en libertad o...
Are they going to release me or?
Well, it's not up to me, but as long as you do not have anything to hold you in the jail, then yes, you will be released.
Esto no depende de mí, pero siempre y cuando usted no tenga nada que lo detenga en la cárcel, entonces sí lo pondría en libertad.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I need to ask a real question here. We all know that I've taken 4 years of high school Spanish and failed. So when she just said, and he said me, and then she said me is not me in Spanish, right? Conjugating the verbs was the hardest part. It's like yo, because I feel like I would have got it if they were like, oh, if you're talking about yourself, you want to say me. Like that would be very simple to understand and remember. And I don't recall that.
¿Alguna otra pregunta?
No, todo está bien.
No.
Okay,
is
all right, good luck to you.
Ok, buena suerte.
All right. All right, for Mr. Hernandez, that's on the doc. So give me just a moment.
No, we're cool, right.
All right, Ms. Martinez, can you ask him his name one more time, please?
Señor, ¿me podría usted dar su nombre?
Daniel Hernández.
Daniel Hernández.
Okay. And Mr. Hernandez, you are charged with one count of hit and run, which is a misdemeanor.
Señor Hernández, a usted se le acusa de un cargo de chocar y darse a la fuga, lo cual es un delito menor.
And also one count of driving without a valid license.
Y también un cargo de manejar sin licencia de conducir.
I am going to set a bond on both of those charges.
Yo le voy a asignar una fianza por cada uno de estos cargos.
For the hit and run, I am going to set a bond of $4,000.
Por el cargo de chocar y darse a la fuga, le voy a conceder una fianza de $4,000.
And for the no license, the bond is $1,000.
Y por no licencia, la fianza es de $1,000.
You do have the right to hire your own attorney.
Usted tiene el derecho de contratarse su propio abogado
or one can be appointed for you.
o uno le podría ser asignado.
What would you like to do?
¿Qué le gustaría hacer?
Puedo contratar a mi abogado, ¿cómo lo haría? ¿Cómo lo hago para contratar a un abogado?
I can hire my own attorney. How can I hire my own attorney?
Well, you would have to contact a lawyer and they would have to agree to represent you. But if you want, we can appoint you an attorney if you qualify.
Usted tendría que ponerse en contacto con el abogado y ellos tendrían que estar de acuerdo en representarlo. Pero si usted quiere, nosotros le pondríamos nombrar uno si usted califica.
Puedo pasar, comprobar a ver si califico.
Can I see if I can qualify?
Of course.
Seguro.
Are you currently
Hold on. You're telling me that the correct conjugation of the verb yo when you want to refer to yourself is me? I don't know if there's a statute of limitations on cheating in high school on your test, so I'm not going to explain how I used to do that. But I will say that I did babysit for the teacher one year, and she said, you're failing the whole class, Paisley. Like, you're failing." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's horrible. Your kids are so cute, though. I love helping you out with them." And she was just like, "I'm going to remove the final exam, and I think that'll help."
employed?
Actualmente, ¿está usted empleado?
Sí, soy mecánico.
Yes, I'm a mechanic.
Okay. How much do you make per month?
¿Cuánto gana usted por mes?
No sé por mes, pero son 900 lo que soy semanal. Son...
Dijo 200.
Colin, no matter what time you arrive at a party here, you can always ask an honest question. It's the way the phrase was said. I know, Marielle. It's just frustrating because do I have a face mask on? Why? Do I look like I have a face mask on? What kind of face mask? Like makeup? Yeah, I'm a shapeshifter. I do wear makeup. But what do you mean by face? Like one of those Korean face masks that you put on in private when nobody's watching and then you take off because you look like a weird zombie or like mummy? You mean those face masks? Oh my God. Oh, lotion? No. Maybe I did feel a little bright tonight. Um, she's a witch. Uh, what's very interesting is that my makeup was done. No, this is a great question. I am a uh, well, funny y'all are worried about my face. I did my hair. I dyed my hair. So maybe it's because there's no like gray hairs on my face anymore that I look brighter or shinier. Although I do see that reflection. Um, but honestly, I laughed like that because Colin, not only do I obviously not have a face mask on, but I don't own a face mask. I don't regularly use them. Um, well, I've had the same lighting. If I turn that light off behind me, it really ruins it. Unless you guys do a lot of filming yourself, you won't even comprehend the amount of lighting that you actually need to have at like all different angles to make your face lit properly without shadows. Or you will understand maybe, but regardless, it's very bright in here. But Heather has clear face masks that she uses. And that's what it looks like. Thank you, Colin. Let's just say, okay, here's what I'm going to say, Colin. Okay. In future, if you think that I have forgotten to take off my clear face mask, maybe like DM me. I'm just joking. No, I'm not wearing a face mask. What is funny is that I did my makeup contrary to what I normally do. I did it before I went out a couple hours ago. and didn't do any touch-ups or anything like that. So I don't know why it is. Oh, don't feel bad. I'm laughing. Um, yeah, don't feel bad at all. Uh, just get Heather to send me some of the cool face masks that she uses. That's what I want. And the weirder part, Colin, is that today, when I was at the dollar store, when I purchased the item that we're going to use for members only later, that my daughter literally just laughed at, um, I was looking at face masks. I was just like, are you a face mask girl though? You don't know what one to get. And I was overwhelmed. And then I just decided not to get any face masks. So it's just funny that you say it like that, because I was just like, can he see into my soul that I was looking for face masks today? Looking at them, realize you ain't a face mask girl. Um, I've already been out and about on the town to my favorite place, the dollar store. Uh, yeah, but the only thing that's actually legitimately different is that I did dye my hair last night. So, but I tried real hard not to get any dye on my face, and I don't think it would make me look shiny. So I'm sure it's just the lighting. Anyways, never feel bad about asking questions. Remember that we are ADHD talk and randomness, so we like that. Thanks, Chris Engelby. Appreciate you and all your comments. You mean lotion? Yeah, Colin, here's the thing. When you say face mask and mean lotion, you should take the amount of skill for facial toning or skincare that you have and apply it to me. So I don't have lotion that I put on my face either. I don't know what lotion that would be. I don't have it. Never have. Don't use it. I don't, Heather probably going to freak out about this. I don't wash my makeup off at night. I just go to bed. I wake up in the morning, and if I've worn the red lipstick, my lips are still on. And sometimes people are like, what happened to your lips? And oftentimes if I'm like moving my face around, I got big raccoon eyes. But yeah, I don't use I don't use lotion. The only thing lotion wise I would use is in the summer sunscreen, or on vacation sunscreen. But uh I'm not even kidding. I was looking at the lotions today too, Colin. I was looking at them and I said, you're not qualified for this, Paisley. You don't even know which fucking one to buy. So no, you're not buying any. I'm not kidding. I was like, you're a 35-year-old lady now. You should probably use some lotion. No. Yeah, retinol, I've heard of that. I know that that costs a lot of money. I don't know what, I don't, again, I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified. Oh, anyways, again, I have ADHD, severe ADHD. So my days don't follow the normal process that your guys's do. I bet a lot of you wake up and like do the same thing in the morning every day in the same order or like close to it. Like you might know me, or to me, that's pretty crazy that you might know when you're going to shower next versus like, okay, well, we'll just do that when that, urge to be clean strikes stronger than the urge to do anything else. Um, yeah. And I know a lot of you guys are my spirit animals in that way, and I love that about our little family here. I love that you thought I might be like experienced or knowledgeable enough to have a lotion. Nope. Um, anyways, let's continue on with these translator cases. Oh, Grim, you found pizza rolls that she had heated up still in the oven 5 hours later. The question is, was the oven still on? Okay. Because like I've definitely done that. Um, I mean, my ADHD is rampant. Somebody asked earlier, see, for example, somebody asked earlier, where is the cord for my Fitbit? I don't know who it was, I can't remember. But I've now put the Fitbit cord on the door here. It's magnetic and it's right there, right in sight. We're not losing it. Um, You wake up between 7 and noon every single day. Courtney, I believe I can agree. I believe I can agree. Colin, before you leave, or if you're gonna leave, do you see my new sign here, the on-air sign? That's the kind of shit I'm qualified to buy at the dollar store. Okay? Not the beauty products. Which again, there's a great example of how unqualified I am. My idea of where to buy beauty products is the dollar store. Okay? Like, even I know I should be embarrassed about that.
¿Por semana?
No, 900.
900. I don't know how much that will be per month, but it's $900 per week.
Okay,
I'm being serious. Like, I don't Sephora? No. No. No.
are you married?
¿Está usted casado?
No, no,
No.
Do you have any children?
¿Tiene usted niños?
no.
No.
Do you have a rent payment or a mortgage payment?
¿Tiene usted que hacer un pago por hipoteca o tiene usted que pagar renta?
Sí, pago una camioneta y la renta. Pero bueno, la renta le pago a mi papá, pero como quiera le pago a él.
Yes, I pay rent and I have to pay a pickup, but the rent I pay it to my father, but in any case, I pay rent.
Okay, and how much is that per month?
¿Y cuánto es eso por mes?
De la renta,
For rent?
Correct.
de la renta.
Correcto.
Bueno, yo le pago a mi papá 500 la renta.
Well, I pay my father $500 for rent.
Okay, I will go ahead and approve you for a court-appointed attorney.
Yo voy a proceder y le voy a designar un abogado de oficio.
Okay, your next court date is going to be on January the 17th.
Su próxima corte está programada para el día 17 de enero.
However, if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date.
Sin embargo, si usted paga su fianza y sale, usted no tiene que comparecer o no tiene que presentarse para esa corte.
Y la fianza la puedo pagar. Bueno, ¿cuándo se paga o cómo?
And the bond, I can pay it. And when can I pay it or how?
So you will either have to go through the sheriff's department, or you can contact a bonding company.
Usted puede ir y pagar a la comisaría o puede ponerse en contacto con una compañía de fianzas.
¿Y cuándo pago?
When do I pay it?
As soon as you can.
Tan pronto como pueda.
Ok. Entonces ahorita, ¿qué va a pasar conmigo ahorita?
So what is going to happen with me right now?
Well, you have to either A, pay the bond through the sheriff's office and they can explain to you that process, or you or a family member has to contact a bonding company to see if you can bond out and pay that money.
Sería A, usted puede ponerse en contacto con la comisaría y ellos les pueden explicarle el proceso, o usted o un pariente puede ponerse en contacto con una compañía de fianza y ver cómo usted le puede pagar a ellos ese dinero.
Ok. Pero entonces me van a soltar, bueno, voy a salir libre o ¿cómo?
So are they going to release me or?
If your bond is paid and you do not have anything that will hold you in the jail, then you
Chris, start telling your funny story because I'm going to go get something that relates completely to your story about the Paisley district of Glasgow.
still will release you.
Si su fianza está pagada y usted no tiene nada que lo detenga en la cárcel, entonces sí lo pondrían en libertad.
Algo como qué, más o menos, como que.
Something like what?
I don't understand the question.
Yo no entiendo la pregunta.
Bueno, pero puedo llamar a un familiar, mi papá, ¿le puedo llamar?
Then I can call a family member. Can I call my father?
I don't control that. That's something that you have to ask the sheriff's department.
Eso no es algo que yo controlo, eso es algo que usted tiene que tratarlo con la comisaría.
Okay.
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 Any other questions?
¿Alguna otra pregunta?
No, solo era eso.
No, that's all.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Okay, buena suerte, señor.
Any other inmates that need interpretation services?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Bermudez.
You're very welcome, Judge. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Take care. All right. Let's get the females.
Back on the wall. Right here, hands on it. All those ladies, come on. Y'all sit on the bench. Same order.
Okay, so I thought we were starting with the females. Are we? Are we not? Let me scroll up and see if Chris wrote the story yet. Chris, I'm guessing at your gender. I'm thinking it's lady, but just correct me if I'm wrong. Because, okay, so for anybody that's a little bit confused, your maiden name McGinley and your ancestors were the ones that created and made the Paisley pattern. Wow. Oh, somebody asked earlier what my family tartan is. I don't know, but it's Smith. Is my one of my last names. And then that's the easy one. Okay, right, Chris. Okay, so here's the funny thing. So in Canada, in North America for the most part, my name is actually pretty unique. Paisley is something that you don't hear very often, but it's not like, I mean, I sound sort of full of myself, but please keep in mind, I didn't pick this name. Okay, I've had to live with it, but I didn't pick it. So, in fact, I guess some of the credit goes to my mother, but it's not offensive. It's not fucking super weird, but it is unique. I always tell the joke that it is a great name because nobody ever forgets you, but it's a horrible name because nobody ever forgets you. Anyways, but the best way to explain it for what the reality about the name is think of the town or the place that you live, and then think of a town very close by that isn't very cool, that has a sort of weird, just regular sounding town name. And so, for example, if you lived in Orlando, Kissimmee. If you lived in where I live in Victoria, it would be like Nanaimo. Okay. So in Scotland, Paisley is a town in Scotland, and people look at me like I am insane if they're Scottish and I introduce myself. It's actually without fail. Like I can meet a Scottish person without telling them my name first. And I did this in Florida. I was like, oh, watch, I'm gonna make this person laugh by telling them my name. And they're like, what? And then I say my name, and then without fail, they laugh. On that note, shockingly, if you could believe this or not, this is a Paisley Pirates hockey jersey from the Paisley Pirates hockey team in Scotland. I don't actually remember how I got this. I really don't. But it's legit. Anyways, it's so cool. It's obvious it is made in the UK. It's got a British phone number in here. And yeah. So anyways, basically like in Scotland, Paisley would be just like, oh, well, Brooklyn's a pretty popular name. Maybe it would be like naming your kid. You just know what I mean. It's just weird. Like it's a place name basically. But for me, it's been great because I've never had to write my last name on my papers at school or any assignments because everyone just knows who Paisley is, and nobody else has ever had my name. Until I was a little bit older, I met a few other Paisleys. Like most of them I actually just saw on Facebook, but I did have an experience one time in Mexico. I've told the story, I'll tell it quickly. That I was sitting in a port in Mexico one day, and this woman was absolutely screaming, Paisley! 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 And I'm like, because you have to understand, when somebody's calling Paisley, in my entire life experience, they're looking for me. So I'm like, hello, yeah, yes. And she's like, what? And I'm like, you're calling my name. And she was like, oh, I'm talking to my daughter. And she like points over to this little kid. And I'm like, oh. And she goes, that can't be your name. And I'm like, uh-huh. Yeah, I can fucking assure you that it is. She goes, no, you're too old for that. And I'm like, bitch, fuck off. First of all. And second of all, good luck to her because she's going to get called Parsley.
Good morning, Judge. Just before you get started with this young, she wrote refused on her CAA form, but would like to go over the form with you because she didn't understand it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, give me just a moment. I was rearranging some things, but we'll address it as we get it. Ma'am, what is your name?
Keita Berry.
Okay, Miss Berry. Miss Berry, you're on the job. So, Miss Berry, some people were doing the old school way and have paperwork, and some people were doing the other way. Oh, if y'all can hear me at the jail, Mr. Hernandez needs to sign via JOTS, please.
He did, sir.
Oh, okay, perfect. Very good. All right, Miss Berry, we have some paperwork and then we have online stuff. So you bear with us and we will get you taken care of. Okay.
No problem.
All right. All right, Miss Berry, you are charged with one count of improper lane change, which is a misdemeanor. The bond is going to be $500. You are charged with one misdemeanor count of too fast for conditions. The bond is $500. It's a misdemeanor.
Oh my God, how cute do I look in a jersey? Also, I'm assuming this must be a children's team because of how I'm basically not fitting into this jersey. Again, laughing. So glad that this fit. As soon as I started putting it on camera, I'm like, you're fucking playing with fire here, Pace. You haven't put this on in a long time. What if it don't fit? You're gonna look stupid.
One misdemeanor count of following too closely, the bond is $500. One misdemeanor count of driving without a valid license, that bond is going to be $1,500. And one count misdemeanor of driving under the influence, the bond is going to be $5,000. Okay, so I need to go over here very quickly to the screen. Now, your total bond is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8. Your total bond is $8,000. Okay.
Courtney, you don't have a middle name either. Neither do I. My mom was like, "Oh wow, Paisley, that was a win." Middle name? No, I can't think of anything more. And then they just left it at that. Seriously, I don't have a middle name. And nobody believes that. And I'm like, I fucking don't. I don't hate it. I fucking pined for a middle name as a child. I used to think, why don't I have a middle name? They don't like it was very confusing to me why I didn't have a middle name. My sister, who's younger than me, all my sisters have middle names. I don't. Maybe like I guess they just didn't get it the first time around. I'm the oldest and they were just really thought these are optional boxes. Uh, no, actually. But the good news about that is I have decided that I get to pick my middle name. So whenever somebody insists upon it, I can insert whatever fun, silly middle name I like.
Now you have all misdemeanors, so your next court date is going to be on January 2nd at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be virtually. Now that is if you do not bond out of jail. If you bond out of jail, then you do not need to appear for that court date. Okay.
Right.
Give me just a moment. I'm going to put these numbers in here. Now you do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court appointed.
Okay. And did you have some questions about the court appointed attorney form?
No, sir, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I need
All
to-
right.
I put the wrong thing on. I want to refill it out.
Oh, I see. Okay. Give me just a moment.
Okay, and I'm not going to dox myself completely, but please keep in mind that I have a double-barreled last name. They couldn't decide on a middle name, no, but they also couldn't decide on whose fucking last name I could have. And so I have them both. And it's hyphenated, and so it's already a lot. I mean, I was never missing a the middle name outwardly because my two last names make it sound like I have a middle name, but I don't. And but okay, when I was young, I used to really want to be a Stacy. Like, I think it was from the Babysitters Club books. Stacy was the girl that I sort of like wanted to be. And I just thought to myself, oh my God, if your name was Stacy, you would be popular. Your life would be better. Nobody would call you Parsley. I mean, just so many things I thought would just fall right into place if I was called Stacy. But as I grew older, I've grown to love my name. Um, and it also does give a lot of character, I will say, when you have to sort of own the name that you have. There's no like, I'm not saying anything's bad about common names, more common names like Sarah or Claire or, you know, anything like that. But if somebody screams out like Sarah, and like you could, I mean, I guess I'm just saying like it's not always you and you don't have to like explain it all the time. Nobody's like, "Wow, Sarah, that's such a nice name. Where did that come from?" Like, I'm sorry, but I don't think anybody says that to Sarahs now, and I apologize to the Sarahs. I feel bad for you. I'm sorry. I wish your parents sort of tried harder. I'm just going to say it. Like I wish they did. But um that's Paisley Kitchen Court Chats. Hey, there we go. That's it. Um Anyway, so my daughter, her name uh also starts with a P, but is more common than Paisley. So it was I didn't want to go quite as not common. Originally we were going to call her Venice, Venice, but when she was born, I've told this story before, she was put into my arms right after she was born, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, it's baby Venice." And I was like a visceral, like, no. And they're like, "What? What's going on?" And I'm like, "That's not her name." And they're like, "What? Okay. What?" And then we we settled. So, anywho, um let's continue on with the court that we have started watching that I am literally ADHD braining away. Um okay, let's do it. Maybe we'll get through the women and then we will end it and do members only after. We'll see how long it takes. Okay?
I'm doing the paperwork and I'm doing it online at the same time for you that way. Let's see. Okay. All right, give me just a second. Miss Barry, are you currently employed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And approximately how much money do you make per month? Or year?
25.
25 what?
2,500 a month.
Okay.
Did she say 45 or 25? Hi, Tin Man. Also, honestly, I'm just going to be realistic here. I think if you make under $50,000 a year, you probably aren't rich enough to not know how much money you make on average in a month. Like he should maybe ask how much is your paycheck? How many do you get a month? That might be the better question. Like, "Oh, I get $750 every 2 weeks or something." Because I don't think she it's like the way she answered that was just like she seemed a little flippant about it. And again, I'm not trying, I just don't think. Anyways, let's continue. Did she say 25 or 45? Yeah, modern poor is like making like the living wage in my city, which is a wage that they've determined you would need to have in order to actually live here, is a minimum of $25 an hour. That's the bare minimum living in shit condition poverty living wage that you have to have full time.
And do you have any children?
Yes, one,
Okay. Over or under the age of 18?
just turned 18.
Okay. And have you ever served in the United States military?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Okay, one thing I'll say about living wages is that some businesses here like actually advertise and like um commit to paying a living wage to their employees. But in exchange for doing that and also like sort of making it a big deal, their prices are often a lot higher than other things because they do. Like I'm talking, they pay waiters and waitresses. Some restaurants will pay a living wage um, of $25 an hour. But that there's not many businesses that pay a living wage. Like they do, but they don't advertise it and they don't claim to do it to everybody. They just but there are some businesses that like have it written into their sort of um I guess ethics or business plans. Canadians absolutely tip. Yep. We are shamed and like politeness into it. So yeah, you would if you sit and eat if somebody gives you service and they ask for a tip, you should give them a tip in Canada. That's basically the gist of it. I think the issue here is that like when like going out to eat is really expensive here. Very, very expensive. Like if you know, you want to go out for breakfast with your friend in the morning to a breakfast place, you're not and a no alcohol. Okay, I'm talking about just regular breakfast. Um, like I'm not saying it's not the same as Waffle House, but like it's between like Waffle House, IHOP, Denny's sort of breakfast level of quality. That's $60 easy plus tip. And so a tip on that they want like probably $10 or $15 to get to the right number. So that's like now hold on. Please keep in mind that minimum wage and living wage are different things. So the minimum wage is the minimum legally required wage that a business can pay an employee and based upon the provincial settings. 60 Canadian. Yeah, and that's true, but you know the dollar fluctuates, so when it's strong, y'all feel great, but sometimes it's not. Like but still like like 60 to $75 for breakfast. And do you can't I mean, do you wonder why I was like sitting in the Waffle House like looking at the bill going, "What? $7 for my eggs and toast and my coffee and my pop and you want to give me some to go?" Also like here if you said, "Oh, I want my coffee to go, please." They'd be like, "What? Oh, I'd like my coffee to go. I paid $5 for this coffee. I'd like it to go." No, we don't do that. Or if you're lucky, if they didn't just look at you like weird, they'd be like, yeah, I'll have to charge you $3 for the cup for to go. Like there's just it's yeah. Anyways, like the drinks at like if you want to get orange juice at a restaurant, it's got like that's like $8 for a glass of orange juice at most restaurants, which is insanity to me. Maybe I'm just cheap. I don't know. This is why I like going on cruises because you don't have to pay for any of the food. You get to order whatever you want. You don't have to. It's like my dream. It's literally like a dream. Like you can just go and have fun. Um, but yeah, like so. Imagine like I'm at the Waffle House and I'm like I feel like a fucking king or queen because I'm like I can get a coffee and a pop and an orange juice and it would be like and my breakfast for like maybe $15. So I tipped very generously there. Like I was like, "Phew," and I got a place and I'm paying $70 for breakfast for two people. So I was quite happy to give like 100% tip when I was traveling on some of the food that I bought. I was so happy with the service and so happy with how much you got and all that. Like to me, I was just like, wow. And I've told you it's ruined it here. I'm just miserable sitting in a restaurant, just like, oh my. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. We'll keep watching.
Okay, I am going to approve your request for a court-appointed attorney. All right. Again, if you bond out of jail, you do not need to appear for on the January 2nd court date. All right, summary, I think we've got everything. Do you have any questions about your case?
I do. I'm a little taken back by the DUI. That information was never presented for me. Now I did the blow test. I did 2 of them.
Well, hey, Miss Berry, remember what I said earlier about telling me the facts of your case?
Okay.
You don't want to, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say this, ma'am. You're in jail clothes. You did 2 breathalyzers and obviously were arrested and brought to the jail. And you're taken aback that there's DUI questioning here? Really? That seems disingenuous.
I understand. Well, you don't want to do that right now. You'll have an opportunity to do that, but I understand that you may not, this isn't where you're going to get all the evidence against you. This is more of information, okay? But you will have an opportunity to review what's called your discovery packet later on down the road. It's just not at this opportunity, okay? So it'll probably make more sense to you later on down the road.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Other than that, do you have any other questions?
No, sir.
So Sheena, you scared me. Yeah, the cost of stuff in Canada is different, obviously. What I'm saying is you also have restaurants where you can go and sit and have a $70 breakfast for two people, but we don't have Waffle House or cheap alternatives the same way that you do. So, no, I know you're not just in Canada, not at all. And I know, and it's like, I, there's pros and I've traveled a lot of places in the world and I've traveled a lot in the US and I love the United States. Like seriously, you all have stole a little bit of my heart. And so there's pros and cons everywhere, but I just think some of it is like when you get 2 eggs and fucking toast and coffee and a pop, that should not cost $35. It just shouldn't.
Okay. All right, Miss Berry. Well, then you are good to go. And they'll have you, if you have not already, they'll get you to sign for it on the computer because she needs to sign on the computer as well.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Next. What is your name, ma'am?
Okay, sure, I guess.
Okay, what did she do? Get your guesses in. That first lady was a DUI. What do we think that this one did? I think she looks like she's been burglarizing something. Burglarizing the Circle K, perhaps. Well, maybe that would just be a theft. I don't know what the difference is, to be honest. I know it probably if I thought about it, but anyways, another DUI, Legal Fiction says. DV, Tin Man says. Assault, family violence, not a cop. Shoplifting from Jim Huntsman. Fraud, Courtney's saying. Skip scanning. Is that the checking out at Walmart without paying properly? Drugs. Doug's. A Solly. She stole from someone's car. Burglary of a conveyance. There we go. Pickpocketing. Phil Cordeaux, I read that real quick at first and I thought, I said piss pocket, but it does say pickpocket. DUI, stealing a bag of chips from the gas station, retail theft. That's it. No more bets. No more bets. No more bets. Also, Jonathan, can you look up what the command is for a timer in Streamlabs to set like a 1 minute timer? There's a command that you can do. Oh, look at you guys getting them in on the last minute. Bad checks and prostitution.
Oh, last name Enriquez, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me just a moment. Miss Enriquez, you have, well, it's not really a co-defendant, but Mr. Parham was also taken into custody. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At first, my immediate thought was to dismiss because I thought you guys got into it with each other, but then I saw his charges are a little bit different from yours. But anyway, give me just a second. I'm gonna get your paperwork. There we go. And then, how do you say your first name?
Acacia.
Acacia. Okay, got it. Just make sure I get it correct. All right, ma'am. You are charged with 1 count of simple battery. The bond is $1,500. It is a misdemeanor. Now you do have a special condition to stay away at least until your case is resolved or until the bond is modified to stay away from Mr. Parham. Okay. With that being the case, do y'all stay together or not stay together?
We do stay together.
Okay. And then the incident where this happened, whose residence is that?
Both of ours. Both of our names are on the deed.
Got it.
The deed? Or the lease? Shit. What a humble brag. Does she mean she owns that house?
That presents not so pleasant outcome for you, because and I have to order, and it's I do this for everybody. It's not just you, it's nothing personal, but to not return back to that address for the time being until your bond is modified or your case is resolved and you can go back there, okay? However, I am putting in the order that you can go back, and if you need to get any personal belongings from that residence, then you're allowed to do so, but you just need to make sure that you take the Clayton County Sheriff's Office with you. So there are 2 ways that you can get your stuff, right? You can have someone go to that residence and get any belongings that you need on your behalf. Now, as long as they're not, causing a disturbance and things like that, or you personally can go and get your stuff, but you have to do it accompanied by the sheriff's office. That's to protect you, and that's to protect anybody else in the household, because we don't want any other flare-ups between yourself and Mr. Parham. Okay. Now, your next court date is going to be on January the 2nd. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. Are you going to be able to make your bond?
Well, that's a situation that he's kind of handling on his part because I don't have family here. I'm here with him.
I don't think she understands. Sweetie, as far as the government of Texas is concerned, you aren't together anymore. Oh dear. This is going to be confusing, difficult. Did he put in a no contact or a no hostile contact or whatever it's called? What is that actual word for that? No violent contact, that's what they say.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. His mom is, whenever he finds out his bond and stuff, hopefully he can get out before I do, and then the situation go from there.
I see. Well, I'll tell you, his particular case, I'm dismissing. Now, he has different charges than you, right? It's completely different, but I'm dismissing the charges against him because I didn't find that there was enough evidence to establish it. Now, I'm going to tell him the same thing. They could bring those charges back, maybe not, but he wasn't accused of doing anything to you. He was just accused of not doing what the officer said. And that's a different level of scrutiny. That's a different level to look at, okay? And again, this doesn't mean that you're guilty of anything. It just means that there's enough evidence to proceed, okay? So I don't want you to think that I am treating you any different than anybody else, okay? But he'll get that information. I don't know if he can hear me or not. But here's the thing, I will say this, just be cautious because again, you do have to stay away from him. Now, you don't have to stay away from his mom. You can contact his mom all you want to, okay?
He has the number. I don't know her number.
I got you. I understand, but I'm just trying to be as clear as possible. Like if she reaches out to you, that's okay. But even if he reaches out to you, that's the provision ain't on him. The provision is on you. So I'm just saying it can get very dicey in these types of situations.
Okay, let's see how much of a bro Judge is. Will he tell her boyfriend how much her bond is? Do we think? We're not going to find out right now, but like he just told her that his case was dismissed. Is he going, and now he understands like, hey, this dude's going to cover the bond, but he can't talk to her or she can't talk to him. Will he tell him her bond? I wonder. I hope so, but I don't know if he'll remember. He might. He gets triggered when he sees like companion cases that he's dismissed one or the other, like he was triggered at the beginning of this. So I am hopeful that he will. We'll see.
Okay. Now,
oh, last thing also, I saw somebody say that this is in Atlanta, Georgia. That's correct. This is in Clayton County, Georgia, which is contiguous, which means it touches Fulton County, which is where the city, like Greater Atlanta is, I guess, in Fulton County. But this is just right next door in Clayton County.
Let's see. Do you want to be considered for a court-appointed attorney, or do you want to hire your own attorney?
Did I think a little bit more on that?
Well, here's the thing. You have about 10 seconds to make that decision. So again, I can't give you legal advice. But I mean, even misdemeanors can end you up in jail. So if there are any doubts, what I like to do to protect you is consider you for a court-appointed attorney. And if you change your mind down the road, then that's fine. You can do that. You don't have to stick with a court-appointed attorney if you don't want to, but you definitely don't want to represent yourself.
Okay, so go ahead and do that then.
Okay. Are you currently employed?
No.
Okay, got it. Do you have any children?
No.
Okay. And are you legally married?
No.
Okay. Have you ever served in the U.S. military?
No.
All right, I just needed to ask you those questions. I am going to put down that you are approved for a court-appointed attorney, okay? Again, if you change your mind later on down the road, that's fine. Do you have any questions about your case?
No, sir.
Okay, and just, I don't know if I put it on the record, but the address is 766 Cascade Drive. But again, it's in here. If you need to go get your stuff, you can, okay? All right, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, all right, good luck to you, man. Next.
How you doing?
Okay, next, ladies and gentlemen, get your guesses in. We are going to be tight on the timeline, so get your guesses in quickly. I am thinking, loitering and prowling. Loitering and prowling, I'm going with this lady. She looks a little bit dodgy, allegedly, in my opinion. Theft, MB. Good night, Nancy. Have a great evening. Love you. DV, Jim Huntsman saying, yeah, red light running and crashed into a gas station. DV, Vicky says, possession of drug paraphernalia, Phil Cordeaux, driving without a license. That's a good guess, not a cop. DV, Nancy's gonna get a guess in before she leaves. Slapped a tiger. Beverly, if she slapped a tiger, should we be charging her or sort of like applauding her for looking like this after slapping a tiger? I feel like that's bad, but also like pretty impressive. Stole a garden gnome. Legal fiction reminds me of a hilarious story. If somebody reminds me later, I'll tell it. Rico. Oh, now my brain's trying to remember what Rico charges are. It's like organized crime stuff, isn't it? Miss Carrie, welcome. Streaking, Chris Barton. That would be crazy. Okay, no more bets. No more bets. That's it. Let's get going.
Good morning. What is your name, ma'am?
Octavia Gilbert.
All right, Miss Gilbert, give me just a moment, okay? Let's see if you're on. You're on the paper version. All right, Ms. Gilbert, you were charged with one misdemeanor count of simple assault. Okay, that again, it's a misdemeanor. I am going to grant a bond of $2,000. Okay. You do have a special condition to not have any contact with Mark Xavier Williams. Okay, and then also to not return back. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, who is that to you?
We're married.
I'm sorry.
We're married.
Got it.
I didn't know what she said for a second. Oh. Thank you, Miss Carey. The RICO law passed in 1970, making it a crime for people to participate in a criminal enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity or conspire to do so. Yes, RICO charges are often the only ones they can get to stick in certain cases. Anyways, she just said, what did she said it weird. We're married instead of that's my husband. Miss Carrie, I sort of noticed that you had left. I was like, oh, I guess she's gone. Okay. And then there was like a whole stream issue, and I really tried to help. But if you go back and just watch, I was like, I posted in the Discord because he asked for like the list of whatever they were doing. And I went back and looked at it. I posted in the Discord. He's like, yeah, thanks. That was wrong, though. I was like, oh. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it was like a 3-hour live stream, and I had to like guess and try and find it very quickly where he had flashed up the list on the screen, and of course I got it wrong. But anyways, we missed you. Let's just say it. I'm a piss poor substitute for a real accountant. Let's say that.
Okay. So I know that you were paying attention earlier, and so sometimes these types of situations put me in an uncomfortable situation to relay information to you. But just like I told that other young lady, I can't have y'all together right now because for one reason or another, y'all aren't getting along. Even if it was a one-time thing, I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I don't want anything bad to happen to him or the community at large. So I have to put in the order to not go back to that address. However, if you need to get some belongings and stuff until either your case is resolved and you can go back, or your bond is modified to where you can go back, then I am putting that in that order. So there's two ways that you can get your stuff. You can either A, have someone get your belongings for you, so long as they don't make a scene, or B, you can go there, but you have to be accompanied by Clayton County Sheriff's Office, okay? And that's to protect you and that's to protect everyone else in the community because we don't want any other issues. Now, your next court date is going to be on January the 2nd, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. Are you going to be able to make your bond? Okay, very good. Now, you do have the right to hire.
Wait, what did she say? It skipped it or it buffered it. I don't know. Okay, whatever.
Your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court-appointed.
Okay, give me just a second. Okay. All right, I will grant your request for a court-appointed attorney. Ms. Gilbert, do you have any questions about your case?
Why was the bond set so high?
I mean, it's actually low. I mean, if you do like a bond of anything like $100 or $200, bonding companies won't even do anything. So it's actually in line with just about everything else of these types of cases. And we don't do reconnaissance bonds on domestic violence situations. Now, I'm not saying it's the most serious thing in the world, you know what I mean? But in those types of situations, we don't do that. All right. Any other questions?
That's right.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you. Okay. What's your name?
Alicia Hilton.
Okay. Miss Hilton.
Okay, what's Miss Hilton guilty of? I don't think she's related to the Hilton family, the hotels and all, but get your guesses in. Start putting them there. I can read them still from over here. I'm grabbing something right now. Illegal gambling parlor. I like that idea. Pop. I think that I don't really have a great view of her, but I think maybe. Oh, I know. She got arrested for harassment of a goat at a goat yoga studio. Yeah, that's a hundy P it. That's absolutely it. I'm seeing arson, DV, prowling, a drug offense. She's not guilty, accused of theft. Theft. Yeah, true enough. As usual, everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And all of these things that I say are, in my opinion, and allegedly. Okay. Runs a chop shop. I don't know why, but every time I see chop and then S, my brain wants to think chop suey, like Chinese food. Stole a snake from a pet store. Prowling's a good one. Goat napping. Yes, that's right, Patrick. No more bets. No more bets. No more bets. I say goat weirdness. Also, Miss Carrie, look at my on-air sign.
Moment.
Come on, Judge.
I know I had your form here somewhere. The person, did you fill out a court-appointed attorney form? Yeah, I have it. Just a second. All right, let me go over this first. All right, Ms. Hilton, you are charged with one misdemeanor count of avoiding or prowling. The bond is $1,000. One misdemeanor count of.
Oh my God. I thought that I guessed that on the last lady, and I thought that was a long shot. I just got excited there that I was right. I'm not. I'm one off. But man, that was pretty close to exciting. Whew. I was like, I've said those words recently.
You talking too fast.
Sure. You are charged with one count of loitering or prowling, which is a misdemeanor. The bond is $1,000. One misdemeanor count of obstruction of an officer. The bond.
Question?
No,
Not until I'm done. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
you'll have an opportunity, but just wait till I'm finished, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right. One count of obstruction of an officer, the misdemeanor version, the bond is $1,000. One misdemeanor count of simple battery on an officer, the bond is going to be $2,000. And then one felony count of terroristic threats, the bond is going to be $3,000. So your total bond is going to be $7,000. Okay. Now, your next court date is going to be on January the 17th. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that particular court date. Here's your court-appointed form. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do about an attorney?
Got my own.
Okay. Do you know that person's name or not yet?
Mm-hmm.
What's the attorney's name?
Mike Malou.
Okay. And have you spoken with Mr. Maloof already?
No.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Just make sure you're in contact with him about your case and he'll know what to do. He's very familiar with the process. Now, if you have a question, remember what I told you. Don't ask me about your charges and things like that. Because if you start talking about your case, I'm not going to let you finish. Okay?
I'm not.
But what's your question?
I don't even know what loitering is.
Well, unfortunately, ignorance of the law is not a defense, but you can talk to Ms.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. First of all, that's a statement, not a question. You could say, could you explain to me what loitering is? And that would be a question. But just a statement of you not knowing what it is doesn't
Maloof about that because he's going to be the one that's going to strategize with you and go over defenses and go over the discovery packet with you. Okay. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Hilton. Next. All right, what is your name, ma'am?
Brianna Owen.
Okay, give me just a moment.
You fine? She don't have to.
Miss Holland.
Yeah, she got some.
Okay, Miss Holland, you are on the new system as well. So, Miss Holland, who is Mr. Tyrone Holland to you?
My brother.
Got it. Okay.
Wait, did he already say it? Did I miss it? I'm busy. I'm looking at my phone. Let's just let this play. I have to grab something else and look at my phone, so we'll just let this one play.
All right. Miss Holland, you are charged with one misdemeanor count of criminal trespass. I am gonna set, excuse me, I am gonna set a bond in that case of $1,500. Okay. Now, you do have a special condition to not have any contact with Miss Chantel Holland. Okay. It's my understanding is that your mother? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. So just don't have any contact with her until your case is resolved or your bond is changed. Your bond conditions are changed. Now, do you live at the address where this happened?
Yes.
Okay. Because you didn't fill out, is that the Amelia Lane address?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Well, I'm sure you've heard well, anyway. Okay, do not return back to that address. However, if you need to get your belongings, you can do so and put it in order that you can go with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office to get any belongings that you need, or you can have someone get your belongings until your case is either resolved or the bond conditions are changed. Okay. So
She still have my kids.
I'm sorry.
She still have my kids. My kids are there as we speak.
Well, I didn't say you couldn't have contact with your children.
No, I'm saying as far as like to get my kids and stuff.
I can't really give you legal advice, but there are ways to get belongings and children. Like there's either a mutual friend or somebody that can pick them up or bring them to you or something like that. Or, I would suggest getting with the sheriff's office as quickly as you can and then going out with them and getting them. I mean, there's ways of doing things without having any contact, if that makes sense. Okay. Oh, hold on a second. I need to update this to include that you can go back. All right. Now, your next court date, like I said, is going to be on January the 2nd. However, if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that particular court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for an appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Neither.
Well, what are you going to do about a lawyer?
I don't want one.
I'm sorry?
I do not want one
Why?
because I don't want one.
You could, I mean, the only really real answer here to what she's saying is because I'm stupid. Yeah, Miss Carrie, honestly, yeah, always protect yourselves in YouTube and online chats all over the internet. It's not just here that you have to be careful, it's everywhere. But Discord is a little better for that. And also, if you don't want your comments, first of all, actually, just a little announcement separately. If you don't want your comments showing up here, ever for some reason, whatever reason that is, I don't really care. Go ahead and shoot me a message on Discord or send me an email, and I can make that happen. Alternatively, if you want to make sure that a specific comment doesn't show up here, I believe if you use now see, what are these called on the keyboard? I mean, what would those be called? Like we arrow, I mean, they look like that. Or like that, maybe? No. No, I had it right the first time. They look like this. Yeah, Jonathan. But so Jonathan's doing an example of how to hide your text. And then what you'll see is that Jonathan's comment is going to come up here, but there's no text. So whatever is within those scissors will not show up. Greater than, less than. Colin, or sorry, not Colin. Jonathan, you're making me feel stupid because that seems very simple. And just like when Colin was trying to explain the formula for change, like the temperature change, I was just like, we ain't ever getting a formula in my head. That's not how we work. Scissors. Scissor me, daddy. Somebody insert that clip here, please.
Well, are you an attorney yourself?
No, I'm just
Okay.
refusing.
Okay, well, you need to leave here with an attorney one way or another because, I mean, look,
Hold on. We're going to go back and just watch her do this stupidity here.
well, appointed attorney, what would you like to do?
Neither.
Well, what are you going to do about a lawyer?
I don't want one.
I'm sorry?
I do not want one
Why?
because I don't want one.
Well, are you an attorney yourself?
No, I'm just
Okay.
refusing.
Okay, well, you need to leave here with an attorney one way or another because, I mean, look, you have the right to represent yourself. I don't think that's a good idea because you don't know the law, you don't know the procedures, you don't know the rules, you don't know anything. And the state is you're going to be dealing with people who are going to be prosecuting you. They are not your friends. They're not there to help you. They are there to recommend some type of punishment for these acts. And you don't know whether you have any legal defenses or not. So I'm going to give you an opportunity. Now, if you tell me again that you don't want a lawyer and I've made you aware of all of these things, then that's fine. I'm not gonna twist your arm to do what's in your best interest. So are you sure you don't want a lawyer?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, then I will not appoint one for you. Now you're more than welcome to go out and hire someone if you ever see fit to it, but that's fine.
Could you get me my stupid idiot stamp, please? I need to stamp this file stupid idiot.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Give me just a second because you have to sign for this electronically. Okay, I've done so. All right, Miss Holland, you're good to go. Good luck to you. All right, what is your name?
Alicia Jackson.
Felicia? Did she just say Felicia? What did Miss Jackson do, guys? Get your votes in. Right now, over here. I'm gonna say pushed a fisherman off a pier when he caught a turtle by accident. That's my guess. Patrick B is saying harassment, assault and drugs from Miss Carey, assault, elder abuse, Courtney, assault, she beat her man, theft, she was caught with drugs at the gas station, cellulite yoga pants, you love the gas station. Bullying. Interesting, Bev. I wonder if we'll ever see a charge like that or if it will have a different name. Sorry. I literally touched the microphone cord approximately with zero strength and it fucked up. So I apologize. I knew I was muted. I could see it. Anyways, did I say? I can't even remember. Golden Corral eating and not paying owes hundreds loud.
Jackson. Give me just a moment.
Oh, thank you. That's what I was gonna say. Bullying reminds me I want to write something down here to remember for later.
All right, Miss Jackson, you were charged with one misdemeanor count of battery. The bond is going to be $2,500, and then one misdemeanor count of criminal trespass. The bond is going to be $1,500. So your total bond is $4,000. Now you do have a special condition to not have any contact with Maria Rodriguez. Okay. Until your case is either resolved or your bond conditions have changed. Your next court date is going to be on January the 2nd. However, if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court appointed attorney.
Okay. Very good. Let me see here. All right. You filled out your application. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. I will grant that request for you. Do you have any questions?
How much is my total bond again?
The total bond is going to be $4,000.
Okay.
Chris Barton, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your story about your family connection to the Paisley pattern. I love that. Just before you go, when one day when I am successful enough to have an assistant who will do the things I say, I will have business cards that are shaped like a Paisley pattern. But until that day, I will dream of them.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Mhm.
For
Excuse me, Your Honor, would you like to look at the shelves here? We have really large boxes with holes in the top. Those can't be for gloves. What are those for? Are those like, what is that? Is that for when you impregnate a cow? They go all the way up to the shoulder? Like what are in those boxes? I feel like I've been shrunk down in a dollhouse, and that's really like, those are normal size things. Like that's a face mask in the middle, but it looks gigantic, doesn't it? Ooh, I am for real.
Colin is not accepting her signature on Jots.
Okay. Give me just a moment. Let me go back. Give me just a moment. Has everyone else worked so far? Let's see. This.
It's not accepting her signature.
It's just everything on that shelf looks like a bigger version of other things that I've seen. Like the clip-on thing that's at the top there, that looks like clip-ons, but they're usually small little like fans or something. Then on the third shelf down, we got what looks like an N95 mask. Then the giant boxes. It's probably a perspective trick, but you know how my brain works. Big D looks exhausted, but I'm gonna say something. Big D, I don't know what else he's doing, but he ain't been working at court lately, so I don't know what he's busy doing. Also, even the flashlight and the Purell thing look really big. Really big. Also, I'm very worried whenever I see a red button places, because the urge to touch a red and press a red button to me is just, it's strong. It's strong. And sometimes, like, because of how my ADD works, like sometimes it's not good enough to just like enter a place and be like, oh, there's a red button that you're not going to touch, and then you'll remember not to touch it. Like you have to remind yourself of that, like, constantly. Yeah. That's so close to the emergency flashlight. Like imagine if you're in the dark and there's an emergency and you reach for the flashlight, but you hit the red button.
Holland.
I'm bringing it to her.
Order for bond, that one's done. CAA form, that one's done. Summary, okay, denied pro se, review and sign. Sign documents. If it cannot, no documents are ready. Okay, hold on. Let me select all. It looks like I have signed it. Yep, I signed the first appearance order. I signed the CAA application. I mean, I send out all the documents physically as well. So this may be one that she needs to physically sign, but I'll send hers out physically as well. But it looks like everything is signed on my end.
So you see her signature on your end?
I do not see her signature on my end.
Okay, it's just not accepting it. I mean, she's signing it, but it's not accepting it.
I got you. Well then, she may have to wait for the physical copy, but it'll be in the batches that I send.
Okay.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Dan is married and he has 2 boys, I'm pretty sure. He's like in his 40s. Good night, Beverly. Love you. Yeah. Again, I'm not going to talk about all that I know about each judge because again, I'm working really hard not to get any TPOs against me. And so I would much prefer to not reveal all the information that I know.
One more. We have Perez. What is your name, ma'am?
Jocelyn Perez.
Okay. Ms. Perez, you were charged with just 2 driving offenses, 1 misdemeanor count of driving without a valid license, and then 1 stop sign violation. Gonna set a bond of $1,500 on one and $500 on the other. So your total bond is $2,000. Are you gonna be able to make your bond?
Yes.
Sorry, you guys, that one just went so quick. We fucking missed it. But there we go. To make it up, we'll do a couple of the guys before we end the regular live tonight and go into our members only.
Okay. Have you already posted one or just not yet?
What was that?
I said, have you already contacted? I can't speak. Have you already contacted someone about your bond or no?
No, not yet.
Okay, all right. So the total bond is $2,000. Your next court date is on January the 2nd, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date, okay?
Okay.
You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Are you currently employed?
Not at the moment. I was
Got it.
this week.
Got it. Okay. And then are you married?
No,
Do you have any children?
no,
And have you ever served in the United States military?
no.
Okay. I will grant that request for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Perez.
Get the guys.
Oh, they're gonna get the guys now, and loud, I get it.
Everybody but Holland.
We are late. Oh, hey, is that pause? We don't want to listen to them. I'm gonna skip it. We are gonna, yeah, actually, it is a good point, actually, to stop here. So what we're gonna do is actually stop here. We will be, I think that was actually a very interesting docket. I think that one lady was a Sovsidiate, but she wouldn't admit it properly. And then we had, a couple other sort of crazy situations, a dismissal by proxy that we will see again later when we watch the rest. But this is actually a good stopping point. It's 8 o'clock on the dot on the west coast of British Columbia, where I am right now. And so what we're going to do is start a members only very soon. It is going to be a little bit different. We'll watch some court, but we will also be looking at a purchase that I made at the dollar store today that I think you and I will all love looking at together. But my daughter shook her head in dismay and shame when I was buying it. Yeah. Also, if you're not a member yet, but Adderall, thanks for being here. Also, Ritalin, thanks for being here. But if you are not a member yet, make sure that you turn on gifting for the channel because there are lots of really generous people around here, and they like to have a lot of people to hang out with. Shit, who's asking what the dollar, Sven? The dollar, what dollar store? Oh, sorry, you're saying what dollar store, not what is a dollar store. I was like, come on now. So in Canada, we have Dollarama, we have the dollar store, we have then there's like independent style store, like dollar type stores, but none of them ever charge $1. I'm going to tell you guys have been complaining about the change from the dollar to the $1.25 store. Okay. About 5 years ago, the dollar store here, almost all of them just became like $5 stores. Everything's $5 pretty much. So it's been like when I went to Five Below in the States, I was like taken aback. The type of items that they have at that store compared to like our dollar store crap that you get, I was just like, and I know it's $5 American, right? So if somebody does the math right now, I think $5 American is worth probably like what, 6 or 7 Canadian dollars. So you have to imagine like seven and below, I guess. I don't know. Like I'm trying to justify, I don't understand where their buyers go that are dollar store or Dollarama people don't know where to go. We don't have Dollar General. I've heard about that. And we don't have Family Dollar. Okay. But like Dana, do you know what I bought at the Five Below? Green screens. Okay. The ones that I've been meaning to order off Amazon, but every time I go to put in an Amazon order, I stop once I see the cost of shipping because shipping to Canada is pretty expensive and I always just balk at the price. I'd be like, oh my God, that green screen only costs $20, but you're going to pay $25 to ship this whole order. And so I often like think about buying stuff online, but in reality, it's just not as effective. And so I've wanted a green screen for a long time. When I'm in the freaking Five Below, I'm in the back and I'm like, $3. $3. I was amazed. Many things. And here's the thing, like I get it. Dollar stores are sort of like some of the stuff is crap. I'll tell a funny story before we end here and move on to the members only. I bought a new notebook today. This is it. It's blue. It came in a pack of 2. My daughter said to me, Mom, why are you buying those? I said, I need a notebook. What do you mean, why am I buying? I mean, this seems pretty fucking self-evident to me. And she looked at me and she goes, but you buy notebooks all the time. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, but you never use them all the way. And I had a little crisis in the freaking dollar store with her trying to justify why buying a brand new notebook feels so good to me. And I have all these grand plans to fill it and write in it and do all these things. And I have stacks of different notebooks. And it's not that I haven't started all of them, but once you deface the notebook, it sort of loses some of its, I don't know, magic or something like that. So I regardless, I bought those notebooks just very happily, and but she wanted to go to a different dollar store, so we went to another dollar store, and we were. I have a lot of notebooks, Fan. I would actually be embarrassed to admit, but we went to another dollar store, and we're walking through, and I said, and she goes, don't even. I'm like, but she's like, keep walking. You don't need another notebook. You can't need one right now. And I'm like, she just looked at me like so disappointed. Like, you just did this. You just got that. And yet I'm watching you want to get another notebook. And I think part of it is, so I'll say this. I'll end on this story. And this is a story I've told on the channel before, but if you've never heard it, I have ADHD. rampant, obviously. And at one point in my life, right after I got divorced, or not right after, a couple years after I got divorced, I was like, I don't know what I read or where I figured it out, but somebody impressed upon me the fact that you don't have to make a journal or a notebook perfect. You can just write random thoughts in it and it'll be okay. And it and so like it was the first time ever that I had used a journal or a diary or a book and just like not been pissed off about what the last page said, just like moved on. Like, I don't need to finish writing that. I don't need to worry about it. Like, just every page was its moment in my life. And it was amazing. I worked in an office, so I had access to a printer. So I would like print off little things and tape them in the book and color around it and then move on to the next one. And the thoughts were jumbled and random and crazy and very ADHD. But I was like glued to this notepad, like this notebook, had it with me all the time. It was a beautiful feeling, like notebook. It like I don't know, it moved properly. It like felt really nice to have, fit in my purse. It went everywhere with me. It was my color, my favorite color. And I began seeing this guy that I met on the internet. We'd gone on a couple dates, and long story short, he stole my notebook and read it in order to get, I guess, a leg up on like dating me, to maybe like learn more about me. I really don't know exactly what his end game plan was. Maybe when a regular person, you steal their journal, you're going to learn a lot about them. You're going to learn a lot about me if you steal one of my notebooks, but it is not going to make sense. And so the way that I found that out was what had happened, we went out on a date. We went to a nightclub to see a band, like, or a DJ play, which is not me at all. And of course, I have one purse. It's the same purse. Depending, no matter where I'm going, it's the same one. And so my notebook's in it, and we got back to the house, and then the next morning I'm like looking for my notebook, can't find it. And he calls the cab company that we used the night before. He called the nightclub to see where, if the notebook was there. No luck, no luck, no luck. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, well, that's out there now. But whatever. Like, and I was disappointed. And it was like maybe later that week or 5 days later, we were going on another date, and he was like a little weird girl. So I showed up to meet him for the date, and he's like, I'm not quite done getting ready. Take a seat. So I'm like sitting in his living room, rolling a joint, and I look up across from the couch at the bookshelf beside the TV, and there, like 5 or 6 books down, is my notebook. Not like on a place where you put things to give to other people. You know what I'm talking about? When you've got uh, something to, like, you're like, oh, fuck, I got to give Paisley back her notebook, right? It wasn't like on the corner, like, don't forget. It was like tucked into the bookshelf, pushed in like he owned it. And I'm like, is that? No, it isn't. Is it? It is. Oh, it is. And immediately I thought, well, how am I going to handle this? And another part of my brain says, not right fucking now, lady. And so I just got up and I grabbed the notebook, I put it in my purse, and then we went on the date. And I'm just like the whole time thinking to myself, did he read that? Did he read the whole notebook? Oh my gosh, what did he think? What, all these different things. And then I ended the date very quickly. It was like we went for lunch or something. And I was like, okay, I gotta go, and like left. And then I messaged, or I told him, I either told him or messaged him. And he acted very nonchalant about it. Then he said, he offered, like I said, I was like, well, like, why? I don't understand why you would have this. I don't know why, like all these different things. The next day, he went and bought me a very similar notebook, but one that had a lock on it, like a children's one, you know? And I remember saying to him, I'm like, oh my God, oh, I'm so sorry you're confused. No, no, no. I date adults that don't read my private stuff. I don't need a locking diary. Like, no, sorry. And so he, you know, obviously we broke up. But when upon reflection, so I get the notebook back and I'm like thinking to myself, oh my God, like now we're going to read through this notebook and see what he learned. And I realized literally the icing on top of the cake and the absolute best part of this whole equation is I guarantee you, because he was very full of himself, that he stole that notebook in hopes to read about his sexual prowess or his amazing impressions that he'd made on me. And I can just imagine the rejection and like shit feeling that he felt as he flipped from page to page to page to finally blank pages. And I didn't mention him once. I wrote about other guys, but I didn't write about him. And I know, like, that was the best part of that whole experience, was that he might have been trying to learn something or maybe learn about what I thought about him, but I didn't think much. And I do remember I wrote in that, at one point in that notebook, I had written my own missing persons ad, which is really dark, like super dark. But yeah, so that was the revenge of my part, which is that he wasn't even special enough to write about at all. And of course, I dated things like he's looking at these things, realizing like we went on a date maybe that day, and I'm not writing about him. And but the whole point of that story is I did actually feel really violated after that, and subsequently I've yet to find another notebook that felt the same. I don't know why it has to feel right, but I still haven't. And that's honestly where the beginning of the notebook obsession, buying lots of notebooks, started. So, you know, I'm still pining for that special feeling notebook that I can write in confidently and not worry about somebody stealing, I guess. Um, did I draw the milk carton out and everything? No, I'm not an artist, Dana, but it was written like it was basically it was a sad sort of statement on my life. Let's say it was like realistic at the time. So anyone that has sex with me should expect that I grade them. Yeah, probably. I think in that notebook as well was a list of all the people I'd ever had sex with. I'm not sure that it was titled that, but that's definitely something I've written down before. You burn all the papers, KT. Wow. I would pay more than $18 for a notebook. My most recent, hold on, where is it? It's right here. My most recent and the closest that has come to feeling pretty good. See, this is what I need. Like the notebook has to be able to bend like this. It has to be really, really flexible. This is actually too big. It needs to be in between these two sizes. So it's not this size and not this side, but slightly bigger. And this, like, it needs to be that foldy. But this one has been very good, although I've never gotten as back into writing. But and look at the pages are sort of pretty. But this one probably cost no, it's meant to be bent. Oh, this is from the UK. I probably paid like $20 for this. But when I find a notebook like that does that, that's the bending. That's what I mean by the feel. Like it's not real leather. I'm sure it's not. But I like this. And these are like, you know, a cheap sort of meh, doesn't really do it, but it's close. Anyways, so, and this one I have actually, it's not full, but it's done. Let's say that. So I'm on the lookout for new ones. Anyways, you guys, I really appreciate you being here. You have to give me approximately like 5 to 7 minutes to set up the members only stream on which we are going to talk about something I bought at the dollar store that is not a notebook, but it is a book. So stay tuned. It is lots of fun and it's going to be great. I will go ahead, drop off this and post the members only so that you can join and chat in the chat, and then I will be there shortly. If you are not a member, make sure to go ahead and turn on gifting and subscribe, and maybe you'll be a member next time. We are going to be doing members only every Sunday nights, and we'll see what happens. So please remember that I love you, I'm proud of you, and I will see you momentarily at members only or tomorrow. Okay? Bye. I said bye. I fucking said bye. What the fuck?